And, thank you all for being here. I know that, it's the middle of the afternoon there or possibly the middle of the morning. I don't know. It's anyway, but basically, I'm sure you had something else to do for the next 25 minutes. So, I really appreciate, you coming here and, this whole session is going to be fantastic. We've got some great people speaking. Now, I do want to say a special thank you because, well, here's the thing, right? If you're an organization in the social good sphere like we are, you spend a lot of time talking about people's missions and, your passion and, helping you guys with your missions. You talk about all the time, which is good and it's right. Okay. But you can sometimes forget that essentially we're a software company. All right. And we actually, we enjoy being a software company. We like writing software and we get excited and passionate about, coding stuff that, creates stuff that helps people. And I just want to thank you all for turning up to this conference and reminding us, that we are, at the end of the day, a software company and proud to do it and proud to be, part of building solutions. So thank you for reminding us. You're fantastic. Right, a tiny little bit about us. We are, as we've established, a software company here in Australia. That is not a koala. That is a drop bear. For your own safety, you want to Google that should you ever venture outside a city in Australia. We have been part of the Blackboard world since around 2017. We absolutely love it. It's literally, I could tell you a much longer story. It's changed us as a company for the better. It's been incredible. And what we do is we build apps. And one of the apps that we built recently, as Taylor so kindly introduced us, is Letterbox. Now, that's what this talks about. Before we jump in, I've got a disclaimer, basically. So I just want to be upfront. I want to get this out of the way at the beginning. This is not going to be a particularly technical talk. Now, virtual conference, you can all leave right now. Nobody's going to notice. I won't be offended, but before you do, all right, because I am aware that I'm talking to like a technical audience here. Before you do, I just want to say this. Building an app in 10 weeks was literally the tip of the iceberg. All right, that was the tip of the iceberg. It actually didn't take 10 weeks to build. It took about 5 years to build. All right, and it was much more about company than coding. So what I want to do today is like give you some of these like principles that we baked into our company, which were actually what helped us to do an app in 10 days. So, if I'm just going to stress that maybe you stick around because maybe one of those principles you could apply to your organization and, it's going to be worth your 25 minutes of your time. All right, here we go. Because I'm assuming that if you're still here, you want to listen. Right, Christmas, December 2021, mid-December, we all had a piece of news that meant that certain functionality that used to be done one way was in future going to have to be done in a different way. And we had until February the 28th to figure out how to do that. Now, Blackboard, thank you. You provided some fantastic options for everyone. Just particularly like Heather's team and the way that the Power Automate things, they were fantastic. But it became beholden. It became apparent, right, that as a partner community, it was like beholden upon us to step in and do something. It's like, the partner community talks a lot of the time about being here to create solutions and, we're here to solve problems. And here was, what you might term like a fairly large challenge to solve, right? So it was like, we needed to step in. It wasn't really an option. Us, the whole partner ecosystem talk was just talk, right? So we decided we would jump in. And, there's like a, I like to think there's a fairly unique way that Red Arc build apps, and there's an opportunity for us to provide an option for what was formerly done a different way in a very Red Arc way. And there are people out there who who like the way that the Red Arc appeals to them. So we're like, well, we can do it. It's possible. We'll do it. Of course, it was that February the 28th deadline. Also, there was Christmas, and in Australia, Christmas lasts about 4 weeks because it's like also summer holidays, and further challenges like our lead developer got COVID in the middle. So it was not this easy, super, walk in the park situation, right? But we got there. We actually released the free version came out a week ahead of the 28th. And from the feedback and the numbers of people connected, I think we did okay. So anyway, I could tell you the war stories. I could tell you, the all of that, right? But what I don't, what I want to do today is give you expand out some of those principles we baked in that helped us get there. All right, is that okay? Oh, you know what? You could actually thumbs up and say, is that okay? Because we got an interactive. Oh, one person thinks that's okay. All right, fantastic. So here we go. All right, 5 principles that will help you build fantastic apps in the future. This, of course, number 1, this, of course, is Sydney Opera House, and it is looking beautiful. All right, you've got the beautiful blue ocean, beautiful blue sky, the sun is perfect photo, right? It will become apparent when I talk about the Opera House shortly. This is not like a tourist video. So there's the Opera House. That's kind of, less exciting. That's kind of most days. But, this summer, it's looked a lot more like that, to be honest, a bit grey and uninspiring, really. So you could say that, the person who took the photo on the right where it's perfect was right place, right time, like a really, really lucky person. All right. You could be thinking that. All right. But now we used to, the thing about just basically what I'm going to say is right place, right time is a myth. All right. So, we used to live out west. We hardly ever came to the Opera House. It basically mostly looked like that grey thing down the bottom there. Right. But now we live down near the harbour. I run past the Opera House several times a week, which means I get to be there all the rubbish days. OK, but I also get to be there on the 3 days a year when it looks unbelievable, like that photo on the right. Now, I'm telling you this because it could look like with Letterbox that we were right place, right time, and it was just fantastic. But it really wasn't. Well, the reason we were right place, right time, inverted commas, is because we turned up. It's I'm here. It's the middle of the night. I was here yesterday listening to Ben Wong because Ben Wong's fantastic. But I got up in the middle of the night to listen to Ben Wong. We come to conferences wherever if they're in the UK, Australia, in the US, we come to conferences. We have 41 apps. I looked this morning in our developer account. Okay, only 16 are on the marketplace, which tells you that we try a lot and don't get it right all the time. Our developers turn up every single day and do their absolute best just to be there and innovate every single day. So what I want to say to you guys is this is the first idea I'm putting forward to you, is that as a room full of potential change architects, don't wait to be at the right place at the right time. Turn up and then turn up again. And then turn up again, and then write some more code, and then write some more code, and just keep doing it. And you'll find that one day somebody comes up, how did you do that? You just seem to be in this incredible place, and you could be oh, that's how it is. All right, there you go. That help anyone? Yeah. See, the thing about oh, there you go. There you go. You can shout out anytime. You can put in the chat. You can distract me. You go for it. Heckle. All right, next one. So number 1 is be consistent. Number 2 is, and this is the most technical topic we're gonna be doing in the next few minutes. So make the most of it, guys. Okay, this is build layers. Now, one of the main reasons we were able to build an app in 10 weeks, right, was because what we actually built was that little mountain range there at the top. Because we have for 5 years been building layers and layers and layers and layers of stuff that connects to NXT and does stuff. And we just got that connects to the API. All these layers are there, all these services, right? So that when you eventually when you get to build an app, you just got this little bit at the top to build because you've taken the time to build all these layers. Now, that's you could be thinking, well, fantastic, whoopee for Red Arc. They've been doing it for 5 years and have built a whole bunch of stuff, right? But the thing is, when we did our first app, we had 0 layers. But we had to make a decision, all right? So when we built our first app, which was a pretty little app, okay, we built it in services. We built a whole load of layers into the app, all right? And which meant that the next app we built, there was a lot of stuff we didn't have to build because we built it. And once you get to your 10th app, all right, or project, because this isn't like an app thing, this is like a software design thing, right? If you're doing something in Power Automate, if you build layers into the things, then by the time you get to the 10th app or project, all right, it's going to be a lot easier. So my challenge to you is, you know, whatever you're doing right now, because it's harder. It's easy to just build it once, do it. But if you have even the vaguest idea that maybe something of this might be used again in the future, all right, just take the time, take a little bit longer, invest a little into it, build it into layers. And by the time you get to that 10th app, you are going to be doing fantastic. So I was just checking on the time there, because, you know, that's what you do. All right, so there you go. Be consistent, build layers. Here's this one. This is a good one. It's okay, it's going to sound a little weird. Know who you are. That does sound a little bit deep for like a developers conference, doesn't it? Know who you are. Now, this is not about, you know, knowing who you are as a personality, although that's a good thing to do. All right, this is like another way of putting it, maybe more well, and another way of putting it would be know what you do best. All right, because when you start off a big project, like this was us in December, okay, we had 1,000 ideas and 1,000 like customer requests and 1,000 whatevers, right? And it was like no way, without limitless resources, and I'm assuming that none of you have limitless resources, right? There's no way it could have been built, all of those things. So if so you need to throw some out. And now if you've got a framework, the framework of you know who you are, you know what you're good at, you know the kind of things that you build, like straight away you can use that as a filter on those ideas, and you can like throw half of them out immediately, which is good when you're in a time pressured environment, right? So we found out over the years that we build what are like, you know, our sweet spot is to build simple, elegant apps that do one thing. So when we look at all the features, it's like, well, is it simple? No, let's throw that one out. Is that complicated? Yeah, throw that one out. You know, is it, you know, we just went through them all, and like straight away, we were able to, you know, get that down to a manageable amount of features that we could possibly do it, right? Now, our thing is, you know, simple. Your thing is going to be something completely different, and this applies whether you're an organization, an individual, whatever, right? You're going to find out that you have your thing that you're good at, right? And it really helps you to find out what it is. So your thing might be complex, like we're simple. Your thing might, you might do this thing that solves incredibly complex problems for people, so you would want to throw out the simple things. You might have incredibly niche subject matter knowledge, right? That is so, and then when somebody comes to ask you to build something generic, you'd be like, well, no, that's not what I do. I have this incredibly deep knowledge in this area. I only build these things. All right. Now, helping you further, possibly, because you might be thinking, well, that's great, but how do I find out what it is? Well, that kind of goes back to number one: build stuff, keep building stuff, keep coding, keep building stuff. And you'll notice as you do that, a few things. You'll notice that some of them are quick and some of them take a really long time. Some of them are easy and some of them are like disasters all the way through. And I think the most important one is that some of the like projects you build, people are super excited about and love, and some of them they're like, eh. And if you look back, I'm pretty certain that you will see a thread through all those projects, right? You'll see a thread of like, oh, that was good, that wasn't good, and you'll see that, you know, there's like something that like your sweet spot, and if you find it and then have the courage to do those projects or do a project in that way, then you know you'll find that you'll just be making incredible apps and incredible projects, and you know that's going to be fantastic. Sorry, again, checking the time. All right, here we are. We've got 2 left, I think. No, we've got 3 left. No, we've got 2 left. These are the we're getting down to the meat. I did get a little bit distracted there, but I'm back, which is ironic, really, because this one is make the one thing the one thing. Now I see there's no applause, which is correct, all right, because basically the comment that should be coming up is like, yeah, thank you, Captain Obvious. We knew that. All right, and we didn't want to spend 5 minutes in the middle of the afternoon in June finding out that somebody tells us to make the one thing, because that is the blinking obvious. Let's be obvious, right? So if you're building a really focused project, you have to make the one thing. Now, making the one thing has a flip side. It has like an evil twin, because the thing is, right, if you make the one thing, then there's going to be a lot of other things that you're going to drop the ball on. And I'm going to leave that kangaroo there the whole time I'm talking, because I would love to think that that image is going to be like seared into your memory, right? Because you're going to come to a point and you're going to need to, yeah, the kangaroo, that's right. I'm going to drop the balls. Because here's the thing, all right? Now, the best lessons in life are the ones that people learn on your behalf, really. Like, you know, painful lessons, it's better if somebody else takes the pain for the lessons, and then they can just pass it on. This is one of those lessons. This was not a principle we had baked in. All right, it will be a principle we will bake in future. We made a mistake here, and you know, this is for free. You can have this one for free. So basically what happens is, right, you focus in our case, we focus everything, all our resources on building Letterbox 10 weeks plus, after that, talking with customers, basically 3 months went completely. Now, funnily enough, we were going to do other things in those 3 months. And some of them are projects. And like, the thing about projects aren't just software, they're like run by humans. So we had to deal with a lot of humans who, like, you know, we had to say, well, you know, we can't do that because we're building this letterbox. And they did not care about letterbox. They didn't care about our one thing. They had a one thing, which was their project. Now, if that isn't painful to you, if that isn't a painful process, you know, you might be in the wrong job, because it should be painful that you're going to let people down. So this is like a massive heads up to everyone. Okay, you make the one thing, focus on it for 3 months. Fantastic. You have to plan for all those balls you're going to drop. We didn't. It was interesting. We got through it, but it was interesting. So, remember the kangaroo. When you focus, things are going to get dropped. Make up. I don't know what the plan is. I still don't know what the plan is, but definitely make a plan. All right, we're down to the that's enough of the kangaroo. We're down to the pointy end of this now. Now, you may reckon this is the last one for you. I hope this is helping. All right, this is Sean Connery. In case you hadn't recognized, this is Sean Connery. This is Sean Connery in the movie The Hunt for Red October. Now, if you haven't seen the movie, it's the movie about a submarine being chased by some other submarines. There's this point in the movie where the submarines finds Red October and shoots torpedoes at Red October. Now, clearly, this is not a good situation. If you're in a submarine and somebody's just shot torpedoes at you, this is not a good situation. Now, what do we normally do in situations that, you know, aren't good? We run. All right, torpedoes coming, run the other way. Torpedo, do in their case, do evasive maneuvers. You know, whatever it is. If you're a submarine captain, you do evasive. You try to get out of the way. Basically, this is not what Sean Connery did. So what Sean Connery told his crew to do was to steer directly towards the flipping torpedoes, which is like counterintuitive at best, right? So here's like Red October, and it's this incredibly tense moment in the movie. Like, you're there for like several minutes with this submarine heading towards these torpedoes, and the whole of the crew are like, we gotta turn around, and like Sean Connery's like, no, hold your nerve. Keep going. All right, just keep going. This is the course we got to take. We are not going off this course. We're going forward, and we're gonna do it. Now, what happened was that the torpedoes, like they got to the torpedoes. The torpedoes went right past them, and then like exploded, relatively safely behind them. So he like saved the day. The submarine didn't sink. Okay, because what he knew was that the submarines would have been timed to for where they would have been, but because they went towards, it was going to totally mess up the plans of the other guys' submarines. So basically, he messed up their plans. All right. So I'm not really, apart from that, you should watch the movie, right? I'm not really telling you that because of the movie. It's because what we experienced, right, was that any project you do, the hardest, most scary, most pressured, like all those balls you dropped are coming at you like flipping torpedoes, like all those projects that people really wanted and you haven't done and you haven't got any money, and that you haven't got this deadline coming up, and like Heather's phoning you up and saying, how's it going? And that any project, it's going to be, the most pressured point is going to be right at the very end, which is the exact point you should not give up. You've made a great decision starting this project. You've probably done 98% of the work. And it's like so sad that if you get to the end, you're like, oh, it's just too hard, I quit, and all of it gets thrown away. So this is more, it's like a heads up, and like, go do it, because if you're a little bit prepared and you can think about Sean Connery and you're like, it's okay, I just got to keep steering towards the torpedoes. I'm not going to quit. I'm just going to hold my nerve, counterintuitive though it is. I'm going to hold my nerve. I'm going to get through, right? And then what will happen is the torpedoes will go right past you. You'll have an incredible piece of software that's going to really help you. And, everybody's going to think you're the best developer in the whole of the Blackboard developer community. So hold your nerve. All right. Yes, good, very good. All right, here we go. So that's it, pretty much. I just, I hope that I've like planted a few seeds this morning for you, and I hope that at least one of them that you could take away to your organization, and you can make some changes there, and carry on doing what you're doing. But what I really hope, honestly, right, is this. I hope that someone here has decided that, they're going to book in an afternoon's, even though their main job is something else, they're going to book an afternoon's coding. They're going to block it out of their calendar every week. So they just like chip away at it, right? Or maybe, you're going to go and somebody's like going to put in their diary that they're going to go develop a meetum, and they're going to commit to doing that every month and like learning a little bit more about what they do. Maybe they're going to go on a course, right? They're going to just basically, they're going to turn up and do some stuff. I'm seriously hoping that, you're like a project you're doing in the minute, you're about to kind of start it in like, you know what? Maybe I should build some layers into it. Maybe I should build it with good, but maybe I should build it with services. Maybe I should invest a little more now to thank myself in the future. And I'm really hoping that you suddenly went like, oh, you're right. Some things I do are fantastic. Some people they don't really love. I'm gonna go and figure out what that is, and then I'm gonna have the courage to like do only those in the future. And you're gonna. We're all gonna you're all gonna take our mistake, and you're gonna plan for dropping the ball, all right? And all of us are gonna, like, when it gets super hairy right at the end, we're gonna hold our nerve. We're going to keep going. This is a room full of, change architects, and we're going to keep going. We're going to build some incredible stuff, because there's so much stuff out there yet to be built. All right. And you're going to make a difference. And literally, all right, we're all collectively, you guys are going to change the world. All right. Thank you so much for listening. I hope that helped. And I'm going to figure out how to hand back to our incredible hosts.